So I know now, thankfully, to that
don't
story.
Don't pee in my pee jugs.
But I don't need to be putting my pee in your jugs. And she gave you this little pee trap. Welcome, everybody, to the Bob and Katie Show.
I'm Katie.
And I'm Bob. What a night and day and week we have had.
Yeah, things have been a little... I don't even know the word crazy. Things are always crazy. Things are always crazy around our house.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been especially unique lately.
I was at work, and you sent me a text, and you said, my back's hurting really bad today. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Try to take it easy. And then a little while later...
I think before I texted you that, I texted you something to the effect of that I was willing to give up vital organs for help with the kids. Because I was
in some pain.
I was just hurting and uncomfortable and
There's
tired.
There's got to be somebody out there that needs a kidney.
like, just take it. I will give you my kidney if you would just watch my kids so I can take a nap and a shower in peace.
Well, you sent me a message shortly after that said... I think you need to come home. And your pain tolerance is out of control. Like, I've never seen anybody...
Do you think there's anybody listening that has no idea what we're talking about right now?
I don't know, maybe. It doesn't matter. You're having a conversation.
Is there anybody who doesn't know by now that I'm like 36 weeks pregnant?
Oh, yeah.
That's why. Just in case to fill everybody in.
For the new listeners. Yeah, she's about ready to pop. Close.
We are close to the end of this pregnancy.
It's happening. So your pain tolerance is out of this world. Like when you were pregnant last time, you were in labor, dilated at 10 centimeters and had no idea. Mm-mm. The doctor just said, oh, well, you're acting a little strange. And they checked and was like, oh, the baby's head's popping out.
Well, we're going to take you for a C-section now. That was the doctor said as soon as she checked me.
So when you sent me a message that said, I'm in pain and I think we need to go to the hospital, I knew to leave. Like there wasn't a doubt in my mind. I was like, this is going to be bad. Then you said, be safe.
Because I know you, and I know you're going to panic. I know this because although you didn't really panic last time, but when I gave birth last time, I was already at the hospital. I had been there for a month. So, I mean, there was no like, hey, pack your bags, go to the like, I was there. It was just a matter of, okay, it's time now. But the other night... It's like 3 or 4 nights ago.
Oh, you're going to... Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go there.
That's fine. Because I'm going to tell him... Go ahead.
The other night, I had been having some contractions. The contractions have picked up a little bit in intensity. And I was having enough that was making me go, I think I'm going to time these.
And that's what you said. You said, I think I'm going to time these. And in my head...
No. You saw me on my phone. I have an app.
Right.
Of course, there's an app for that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And you said, what are you doing? I said, I'm timing contractions. And you said, are they that close together? I said, well, I don't know. My last one was 9 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I went in our bathroom to brush my teeth. We were getting ready for bed. So I'm standing there brushing my teeth. And okay, our bathroom, you have to go through our bathroom to get to our closet. So the closet's on one side, our bedroom's on the other side. And I'm standing there at the sink brushing my teeth. And you're like racing back and forth. Behind me, you went in the closet and I saw you were just like grabbing clothes off the hanger, shoving them in a bag. And you were just like running
back
and forth. And I'm just brushing my teeth and I'm watching you and I'm like, oh my God. And I got done. I was like, you need to calm down. It's not time yet. But you panicked.
Well, the contractions, you told me I need to, once again, you have a very strong pain tolerance, and when you start timing contractions because they're hurting you a little bit and they're happening frequently, we need to go.
You were ready to like, let's wake up the kids, stick them in the car, let's go.
Sure. But when you sent me a message that said, I think we need to go to the doctor, it takes me 52 minutes to get to work. Okay. Just on a normal, nothing crazy happening with traffic. I left my store and I got here in 31 minutes.
I didn't expect you to drive that fast.
Now, this is what I want to say. I say a lot of bad stuff about the Death Jetta. I do.
The old girl was getting it, huh?
She was. Like, I think I got up to about 105 before it felt...
Why would you do that?
I was trying to get home. I think right around at 105, that's when it got...
Did you at least, like, have your hazard lights on or something?
For a couple times. a couple times.
Did you honk at anyone?
No, I didn't honk at anybody. Did I what? Flip anybody off? No. These people couldn't possibly know what was going on in my life. I mean, I get that. But like when you're in a car going that fast, every car has a point to where it goes. Things are going to change. So you can drive 90 miles an hour.
This fool's about to drive crazy.
Yeah, you can drive 90 miles an hour and a car functions fine. When people talk about, oh, he was driving that fast and killed everybody, that's because he wrecked. You know what I mean? Like if you wreck going 90 miles an hour, it's bad. But just for the purposes of controlling a car and driving, there's nothing to it. You just have to drive smart. But every car has a speed that when you hit it, the car changes. Like it starts to float differently. And I found out at 105, that's when the Death Jetta does it.
Oh my god.
So I hit about 105 and I heard the air change and the car felt light and I was like, we're going too fast. So then I backed back down to about 100. And I think
oh my god.
And I went that far for a couple minutes and then you run into traffic and you have to come back down and dodge back and forth and like, all right, I gotta get by you. And then you get those two people that want to ride beside each other. And that's when I turned the hazard lights on. But yeah, it normally takes me about 52 to 55 minutes to get to work. And I got back here in like 32 minutes, something like that. So I was impressed with the old girl. She did well. So we met my parents, dropped the kids off with them and headed to the hospital. Okay. Long story short, we were in the hospital, half the night. You didn't have the baby. So that's good. Cause like you said, you're only 36 weeks.
Yeah. I'm far enough along that he would be okay. The Reagan and Riley, they were born at 32 weeks and they spent some time in the NICU. Mm-hmm. But at 36 weeks, you're past the threshold of a lot of risky things and it's still a little early. You don't really want him to come that early, but
now,
I was like, if he's ready,
come on, still.
And it's far enough along that the doctors won't do anything to try to stop it.
Right.
They did give me IV fluids just to see if that would help.
And I don't think it did. Because when we got there, you were having contractions, 10 minutes apart?
Yeah, when I got there, they were about 10 minutes apart.
And when we left, they were 3 minutes apart.
Yeah.
And I'm
really
like,
help.
She's like, we're going to go ahead and send you home. And I'm like, you sure?
But I wasn't progressing, so.
Yeah, you were still 3 centimeters dilated.
And that's the thing with labor, it's just kind of a waiting game.
It
just
is.
Wait and see what happens.
So, the stories, because everybody was talking to us on Facebook. One thing was the power went out.
Yeah, we were in the room.
Mm-hmm. And there's no windows. So when the power went out, it was like, and it was dark.
I'm hooked up to various machines, blood pressure cuff and monitor for the contractions, monitor for the baby's heartbeat, IV, all kinds of stuff. And then everything just went dark.
Yeah.
What in
and
the world?
There was stuff going on in the hospital at that point that it didn't need to be dark.
Oh yeah, of course.
And there was some kind of simulated female alarm voice going off about the power being out. And this was
power failure.
Yeah, and this was when the power came back on after a few minutes, which I'm assuming we were running off of generators.
Yeah, it was kind of scary.
And I think at that point no other doctors came in to see us for an hour or so, and it was probably because they were out there. There had to be something going on in a hospital that if the power goes out, it's bad. We got to watch the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, because we were at the hospital for a long time.
Hours upon hours. And hours. Lots of hours.
A lot of waiting. I don't even remember.
Now, I do want to tell...
So boring.
I do want to tell everybody something kind of personal about you. And I was kind of like, I don't know if I should say this, but then you started picking on me about panicking. So I feel like this will make us even. They had to check your urine, as most doctor visits go, pee in a cup. And they said you had a slight urinary tract infection, which there's nothing crazy about that. You take some antibiotics, clears it right up. It's not like an STD or something. It's not like, oh, you have syphilis.
I had no symptoms. It doesn't burn when I pee.
Yeah. But, all that leads up to this. When she goes to release us, the doctor says, we want to do a 24-hour, urine collection with you. And immediately I went, say what now? We're leaving. So how are you going to collect urine for 24 hours? And she goes, the nurse will tell you all about it. So the nurse comes in with a big blue bag and pulls 2 jugs out of it. And she's like, you're going to put all the pee in here.
Every drop
for 24 hours.
And I'm thinking, I hope those 2 jugs are enough.
That's how
I was thinking about that. I was like, at first I was like, thank God there's two of them because I don't think one would be enough. I pee a lot.
So what do we, like, how do the doctors act if we go back in there? We have those 2 jugs and a half full milk gallon, like just an empty, or not an empty milk jug, but a milk jug with some pee in it.
I'd be like, there was more.
There may be some milk particles floating around in this one. So I don't know if your machines can, what do they do with that much pee?
I really don't know. I kind of feel sorry for the person who has to handle that amount of a stranger's urine. I mean, 'cause who wants to handle a stranger's urine anyway? But like a whole 24 hours worth.
Cause I mean, when you went and peed in a little cup and it had a lid and you brought it out and you held it up and the lady didn't even touch it. She just opened a bag and she was like, drop it inside. And that was a little tiny bit.
It had like the hazmat symbol on it.
But yeah, like a couple, like this is gonna be gallons of urine. Maybe not gallons, but it's a lot. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you have to keep it cold. And she said that and I'm like, so the refrigerator? Hey, your mom's calling. We'll be right back.
All right, where were we?
I think we're talking about urine. Mm-hmm. Now, what got me laughing so hard was this lady with a straight face looks at me and goes, now you don't need to use these bottles. As if she thought that I might try to collect my urine as well.
Well, no, before that she was telling us a story. She said that a fellow nurse had to do the same thing, had to do 24-hour urine collection. And after she turned it in, come to find out her husband had been peeing in it too because he assumed they just needed all the urine.
He's like, we need all the urine out of your house.
It's like a household effort. All the urine that is produced in your household, we need it.
For 24 hours, give us all the urine in your house. So I know now, thankfully, to that
don't
story.
Don't pee in my pee jugs.
That I don't need to be putting my pee in your jugs. And she gave you this little pee trap that you connect to the toilet, so you don't have to hold like a cup down there the whole time. And I was like, for God's sake, it's got to be easier. I'll just pee right in the jug. Shouldn't be difficult at all. I can do it in the living room.
Oh my gosh.
Hand me the jug. Bloop.
Oh. So before all of the excitement of last night, so that was last night. I had a doctor's appointment the other day. The closer you get to the end of pregnancy, the more and more.
Yeah, the chances are if someone could throw a dart at a calendar and they'll hit one of your doctor appointments.
Yeah, so many appointments. And being a high risk pregnancy, you have double the appointments or more. So many appointments. So a couple days ago, I had an appointment, 2 of them, ultrasound and doctor's appointment. And we were just going to take the kids with us. The ultrasounds I've been doing them weekly and they're fairly quick. Doctor's appointment was hopefully going to be fairly quick. Mm-hmm. So we'll just take the kids with us. You can just sit with them in the waiting room, while I do the ultrasound. And then depending on how things go, either you sit in the waiting room or then come back in the room for my doctor's appointment. Well, all I know is I go back for the ultrasound, which was first. And I was in there, maybe 15 minutes or so?
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
And I come back out and there's nobody in the waiting room.
Poof, we're gone.
The kids are gone. And I go, oh no. There's only 2 reasons I could think of that you weren't in there. I said, well, either the kids were losing their minds or somebody pooped. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, no worries. I'll walk outside. And I see you in the back of our car. Not in the back of our, the back of our car was open. And you were changing a diaper. I was like, oh, yep, somebody pooped. And come to find out it was both.
They were going nuts.
One child pooped and one child was trying to tear up the blinds.
Right.
In the doctor's office.
Riley grabbed, they have those cheap, 1-inch blinds. Those kind that when you touch them, they make a noise. Ones? No, they were like metal. Oh. They were like that. They kind of bend real easily.
Yeah, like you have in office buildings and schools and stuff. Yeah.
So he grabs them with both hands, the same way you would grab a pull-up bar, and then started to shake them in the same fashion that you would when you were in primary school. And they had a parachute and all the kids
and you were seeing around
it. Throw it up in there. That's when he was doing those blinds. And it was going, and I was like, oh, Jesus, Riley.
And I'm sure that lady at the desk.
And it was so loud.
Cause that lady, she's the same lady that's been there every time I've gone. And she's the type of lady that I'm sure was sitting back there rolling her eyes like, somebody need to get that kid. Mm-hmm.
And you ever going out in public and you hear somebody just yell at their kid? And even if you have kids, you understand it, but a small part of you's like, oh, well, I don't do that. I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to yell. I just panicked. I started running. And those floors, you could hear me running. It wasn't very far. And then I picked him up and he tried to bring the blinds with us. Like he didn't let go. So then I'm shaking his hands, trying to get him to let go. I'm like, Riley, let go, buddy. Let go. And they're just
clanging against the window.
So then I take him back over to the area and I put him down and I go, oh no, I think I scared him and he pooped because I could smell it. And I was like, let me check your butt. And he turns around and he sticks his butt out and I check and there's no poop there. And then I look up at Reagan and she ain't moving.
You always know.
She's just leaning on the table and I said, Reagan? And she looks up and she makes eye contact with me. and her face is just kind of red and she won't talk. And I'm like, oh.
She's pooping.
I said, okay, Riley, let's pick up the toys because, they've destroyed the office. There's blocks, toys, books, everyone. We're the only people in there. And it looks like there must have been 30 children in there just ransacking the place.
I could believe that.
So we picked up all the toys and we went outside and started changing diapers. And it was a bad one too. It was nasty.
Yeah, I smelled it as soon as I walked up and I was like, oh my.
Did you smell it in the office when you came out of the room?
No.
Oh, that's good. That's what I was worried about.
So anyway, we finish, get the kids loaded up and go to my other appointment, which was right across the street, but different building. So we go in there and by this time there's like dark clouds. It's looking like it's going to rain. So we're like, hurry up. Let's get the kids inside. And we sit down in the waiting room. There's several other people in there and our kids go berserk. There's a big open area and our kids want to run around in it. Literally,
circles.
Riley got away from you and he said, I'll run around. And he was literally just running in circles because I don't know what it is about just running the small children.
And it wasn't a carpeted area.
Run.
It was a hardwood floor. So it was do. And I was,
when I had Reagan in my lap with like this death grip around her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nope, you're going to sit right here. But she saw Riley running around. And then she said, I just want to go sit with Daddy.
Oh, yeah. She tricked you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She started lying to me. She said, I just want to go sit with Daddy. I said, okay, go sit with Daddy. She jumped down. She said, I run around.
She's gone.
So now there's both children just running in circles. And the like 5 or 6 other people in the waiting room, I'm sure, are looking at us like, will you please
Oh, they were definitely staring at us. Did you look around?
I was trying not to.
Like everybody's kind of like, they kept looking down at their smartphones. Like their direction of their head, but their eyes were looking up like this.
And I know those looks of you have 2 small children that are running absolutely wild and you about to pop out another one. What were you thinking? Yeah. That's what goes through people's heads.
Get off her, Bob. Just get off her.
That is what goes through people's heads. I know it. I know the looks.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be like, they're not always like this. Well, not always out in public. They usually behave fairly decent in public. Yeah, they were just in rare form. It's like they sense something lately, like they know something's different. Things have been really crazy and they've been in rare form. And that day was just especially just bad. It was just really bad. So like they could go to call me back and I was like, you're not coming back here with me. I was like, how about you just take the kids to the car? And because I didn't think it was going to take very long and it looked like it was about to pour down rain. So I get in the room and, they informed me that on this visit, I was going to have to do what's called a Group B strep test.
Now, for anybody like me that doesn't know what a Group B stress test is.
Strep.
Whoa. That's all I could say.
I knew what it was. I mean, I had it done before whenever I was in labor with them.
And I don't think you told me that. I don't think you told me you had it done.
It's... With them, they came early. It's usually done at like 35 weeks or so, like 35 to 37 weeks.
And we didn't make it that far last time.
Yeah, I didn't make it that far. So whenever it was time for them to take me back for the C-section and the room was flooded with people, they did all kinds of tests like very, very quickly. And that was one of them. And I think, in the craziness, you probably just didn't know. I remember because let me tell you what they do.
Here we go.
They take a giant Q-tip and...
Wait, just let's pause right there. All right, guys. Just to yourselves. You know our show. You know the kind of things we talk about. Anybody want to take a guess where they stuck this giant Q-tip?
Anytime there's a giant Q-tip involved at a doctor's office, it's not good.
It's not
okay? Nobody wants a giant Q-tip stuck anywhere that they stick giant Q-tips.
Yeah, it's never like, hey, let's get some of your eyeliner off. Or, hey,
no.
Let's clean your fingernails with this giant Q-tip. So what did they do exactly with this giant Q-tip?
First of all, they swab around the inside of your hoo-ha.
Okay.
And
For anybody
then,
that doesn't know what a hoo-ha is, that is my wife's made-up word for the female genitalia or vagina. Okay, go ahead.
Then they have to swab your butthole.
Yep.
So
For anybody that doesn't know what a butthole is, please listen. Please listen to the last episode.
fish have them.
Yeah, fish have them. It turns out
So before, like, we
the
get,
fishies have no buttholes.
So-
Sorry, that's a private joke.
Before-
Stop doing that.
before we get started, like, she's like, well, I'm gonna go get the nurse. And so they come in, and I'm obviously naked from the waist down with a, giant napkin over me. And I was like, ooh, I feel like we need to go out for drinks first or something. Like, this is very intimate. And of course, the doctor thought it was hilarious. But anyway, yeah. So I literally had a stranger, like, pull apart my butt cheeks and stick a Q-tip in my butt.
I just don't know. I just don't know enough about science to be like, what are you getting out of there? Like, what could come out of that? It has anything to do with a baby? That's not. I'd be like, that's the wrong hole, doc.
Well, they check both of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe because they're close together. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, like in that theory, they should check your belly button.
I don't know. Oh, God.
Oh.
So all I could think was, yeah, I'm really glad that my children are not running around like crazy. And it's a small room. This room I was in was really small. You know, while I'm half naked getting Q-tips stuck in my various bodily cavities.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
But now we left there. And although that was very, I'm not going to say traumatic, but that was probably very memorable part of your day. The Q-tip incident.
Yeah.
What I thought was
You don't
funny,
get a Q-tip stuck in your butthole and forget about it.
No.
It's a memorable experience.
Hey, what'd you do last Tuesday? Of which year? 69. Oh, well, 69. That was the year that a Q-tip went in my butt. No, you probably do remember something like that. No, we were driving home and Riley was in the car seat behind me so I could see him, but he was screaming. He was upset.
Well, first of all, after we got done at the doctor's office, I wanted a milkshake from Sonic's.
Oh, yeah.
They just happened to be half price that day, but I was like, I got a Q-tip in my butt. I feel like I deserve a milkshake.
Yep. And there was no argument to be made against that. I was like, yeah, you're right.
You're
Fair
not going
enough.
to deny me a milkshake after
we'll
that.
get you a milkshake.
No. So you had gotten the kids, there's these little packets. I'm sure most parents have probably seen them. You get them for like $1 or $2, and they have like usually like a coloring book, something to color, and like crayons or markers and like some stickers, stuff like that. We had gotten each of the kids a packet of that because we're like, I'm not going to go to Sonic's and get a milkshake and not have anything to keep them occupied.
Yeah, and there's no way in the world I'm giving
2-year-olds milkshakes in the car.
No.
Not happening. So we gave them stickers to play with while we have our milkshake.
Because we're still learning. We're still, we've only had kids for 2 years. Even when you have, like, when you go to a professional baseball player and you're like, you're really good. How long have you been playing baseball? They never say, 2 years. They say something like 20 years. I've been playing, since I was 13 and I'm 29 now or something like that. So we still make mistakes. And apparently, giving what you thought was a cool thing for a child to play with, here are 25 stickers of a cartoon that you love.
Yeah, Reagan's was Peppa Pig, which she adores, and Riley's was Blaze.
The monster truck.
Which he calls the washing machines, because it's Blaze and the monster machines, he
I didn't put that together. Okay.
Yeah, it's Blaze and the monster machines, and he calls them the washing machines. But anyway.
You want to hold this one?
So we give them each this page of stickers.
Sorry, I can't focus. Oh.
And they're so just in a mood, and they're both screaming because the sticker won't stay stuck to their leg, or because, like, Reagan was trying to get a sticker off. You gotta stop. Reagan was trying to get a sticker off the paper, and it, like, wouldn't come off. It was, like, tearing the paper, and oh my god, the meltdown that ensued. So we're like, just play with the stickers. And, like, Riley, he would stick a sticker to his leg. One sticker. There's, like, a whole page of stickers, and he wanted this one sticker.
25
and he would stick it and pull it off, on, like, his knee. And then, after a while, it doesn't stick anymore. And he's freaking out because it won't stick to his leg anymore. And I'm like, I'm just trying to have my milkshake. Can you please just chill out for a minute? They weren't having it.
No.
So anyway, we go to head home.
And this was, I drank maybe a little bit more than a third of my milkshake. And I get frustrated easily. All right, at this point, you got to tell everybody what's going on.
I'm playing with a bobblehead. It's a Howard the Duck bobblehead.
All right, well, we got to give a real quick before we. All right, Megan and Morgan, thank you. Megan and Morgan gave me these bobbleheads.
What are they?
Years ago, I think, a long time. Yeah, these Marvel Pops.
They're like the big
Vinyl
head.
Pops,
They're really
what are they
super
called? Yeah.
cute. They got big old eyes.
And now that we have the studio up, I've started opening some of my collectibles because I'm never going to sell them again. You know, I'm playing with them. I'm just being honest. We fidget with them while we're recording. And this is our first recording session since I've opened these and they're little bobbleheads. So I'm looking at Katie and she's just shaking this duck like violently.
I didn't shake it up violently.
So like if you were a mother with an infant, you'd go to jail. Like that's what's happening with this duck right now. And I'm talking, and I turn her. I look up, and she's got the bobblehead upside down, holding it by the head, and she's shaking the body around. Like that's the noise.
Dance, Howard, dance.
Dance, duck. So yeah, about a third of the way through my milkshake, I'm like, this is a waste of money. You're supposed to enjoy milkshakes. And I'm like, at this point, I'm just drinking the milkshake because I have it, not because I'm enjoying it, because behind me, there's like a screaming child.
Yeah.
Stick it my neck. So I was just like, oh, we're leaving. We're going.
And then at one point, Reagan dropped her sheet of stickers. My people, Daddy, my people.
Yeah.
We're just sitting there, just like eyes glazed over, like, let's go home.
There's somebody sitting in a car next to us going, is she having another child? Okay, so then we leave because I'm frustrated. I'm like, we're just going to go ahead and leave. We get out on the highway and I hear Riley screaming again and I can't see him. So I'm like, check on him, see what's going on. And you explain to everybody what this child was screaming about.
My son was having a meltdown because his leg was blue.
Sorry.
And by his leg being blue, let me tell you, it was later in the afternoon, so the sun was shining at an angle into the car.
Yeah, right through the windshield.
Riley is very dramatic if we're in the car and the sun is shining directly on him. He'll be like, it's burning my eyes! Or, he's very dramatic. He has sunglasses that he wears in the car, and he will wear them.
Yeah, he wears sunglasses.
Unlike any other small child I've ever seen.
I've never seen that before.
He keeps them on. He will wear them all day. But there's I think just about all windshields have this, and I don't really know what it's called, but there's a strip across the top of your windshield that's a darker tint. It's usually a bluish color. The sun was shining through the windshield, and the blue part of the tint of the top was shining on his leg.
Yeah, so it gave a blue glaze to his leg.
Yeah, making his leg look blue, and he is screaming because his leg is blue.
Yeah. Was he trying to wipe it off?
I don't know. He was freaking out. And then so we're driving and you go around a curve or something, the angle changes. He was good. He was in the shade. But then, oh my God, it happened again. He said, my leg's blue again. Just the whole way home, stuff like that. By the time we got home, I was just like, get in the house.
Your head spins around, pea soup comes out.
Oh my God. And that day when we got home, it took us 10 minutes just to get the children out of the car and into the house. And of course we have neighbors that are going for a walk and that walk right by us and see, we have one child running through the street.
He wasn't running through the street. Don't.
He attempted to run through the street and
we stopped him. We
grabbed him.
Every 2-year-old in the world tries to run toward the street. We did good and we stopped him.
But it just so happened that there was neighbors walking by right when it happened. I'm sure to them it appered that we had absolutely no control.
No control.
Whatsoever. Yeah. And they look at you sympathetically.
Yeah, and then they walk around the corner and the one person whispers to the other one, did you guys see that she was pregnant again? Okay, we don't have much time left. And I have 2 things that I need to cover with you that aren't kid related.
Okay.
One of them I've been holding on for a while, and I have no idea how in the world you haven't seen this. This
I'm too busy saving 2-year-olds from running in the street.
That's exploding in the world right now. Rompers have been all over the news for a couple weeks, and you haven't seen anything about it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
This is like the Cash Me Outside girl.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was for.
That was happening for a month.
Yeah, it was about a month. And I was like, is that a song? Or is that a new song that I haven't heard? I had no idea what it meant until you showed me this YouTube video of this girl that needed to have her butt whooped.
Well, good for you, because that means that you're not living in the same crazy world that a lot of us are. So, somebody is starting a new trend
With rompers?
with rompers, and it's called the man romper.
Oh my god.
And it is exactly
Rompers are for children.
what you think it would look like.
Oh my god, let me see. That is the most ridiculous thing. That's almost as bad as the crocheted man shorts.
Mm-hmm. And now both of these men are in shape. They're not unattractive.
Like, is that real? Is
Oh,
that like
yeah.
a joke?
Oh, no,
People
no.
are really wearing those?
This is happening. I think somebody's trying to start like, they were doing like a crowdfunding thing to get the business going. But I mean, like, this is a real thing.
Are they wearing Crocs with it?
Are they? I didn't even look at their
No,
shoes.
they're not.
So,
I thought they were.
these guys could be models and they look stupid. I'm just going to be real with it. It looks stupid. Now, what about me? What if I'm easily influenced and I'm like, I want to get the man romper
No.
and I weigh 300
No.
pounds.
No.
So
I'm not allowing that.
You're at home, right? You're in the living room with the kids. You've got the blinds open because you guys see me every day when I pull up. So you see the Death Jetta pull up and I get out of the car, all 300 pounds of me, and I'm wearing a polka dotted romper and I start walking up to the house. What do?
I don't even know. Like, the kids wore rompers. It's really even hard to find rompers in their size now. Now they're wearing like 3T.
I've never liked them on children.
And like, cause after about 12 to 18 months, it's really hard to find rompers.
That's because after 12 or 18 months of life, you shouldn't be wearing
probably
rompers.
Shouldn't.
That's why you can't find rompers for 10-year-olds.
I mean, and there's some for ladies. I don't personally care for them, but there's some of them for ladies that aren't that bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't.
Like, okay, men, you're wearing a romper and you have to go pee. You know how you get out of a romper to go pee? You have to unbutton the whole thing and pull it down.
Yeah. So are you saying these romper wearers, they sit when they pee?
Well, like, men I don't go in men's restrooms, like public restrooms. But say men use urinals in public restrooms, so you basically have to strip down and pull your clothes down.
I'm telling you now, if I walk into a bathroom and there's somebody at a urinal and they've got a romper around their ankles and they're peeing, I'm saying something.
Like, that's what would have to happen, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
Go pee if you're wearing a man romper.
Right.
And you're, in public. You're gonna have to strip down. Your romper's gonna be around your ankles, standing at a urinal to go pee.
Now, speaking of uncomfortable man things, one more thing we have to talk about. I found out about a game show from the 70s.
Oh my gosh.
Called Three's a Crowd. So we looked this thing up on YouTube, and I'm going to tell you what, I have never seen a more uncomfortable game show in my entire life.
How did you even find out about this game show?
Walt Flanagan of Tell 'em Steve Dave.
Okay. I was like, this is not the type of thing you just happen to stumble across? I had never heard of it before.
Walt, apparently, like, outside of whatever he does, when he's at home watching TV, from what I understand, he watches sports and game shows. Uh-huh. So, like, he's a big game show advocate. So, I mean, I would assume, like, that's probably how he came across it.
Yeah, we watched one full episode.
Yeah, we did.
And it was painfully awkward to watch. Yeah.
I could have believed it.
I think the whole time I was like cringing and I was like, oh my God, it was so uncomfortable to watch.
So this is the concept of this game show. They take a man who has a job that he needs a secretary.
Yeah, and there was 3 contestants.
There were 3 contestants.
3 guys.
There were 3 guys. Each one of these guys brought with them their secretary and their wife. And it was not unlike the newlywed game.
And they were newlyweds.
Oh, yeah, they were newlyweds. Yeah, that's right.
They just happened to be newlyweds.
Now, the game concept was a lot like the newlywed game, if anybody ever watched that. What they would do is they took the secretary and the wife and they put them somewhere else where they couldn't hear what was going on. Then they would ask the man a question. He would have to answer it. And then they would bring the women back out one at a time and see if they could match the answer. And I was like, well, this is going to be weird. Like, in my mind, I'm like, what happens if the secretary knows more about the man than the wife does? How does that make her feel?
Yeah, because that was the whole premise, is to see the men are going to give the answers. Who can match more of the answers? Right. The secretary or the wife? And I was like, this sounds like a recipe
for disaster.
all kinds of disaster, okay?
Now, let me tell you what. When they asked the very first question, I was like, that theory I had doesn't matter anymore because they're going for the jugular.
I was thinking they were going to ask just average questions like, who's his favorite sports team?
Yeah.
What's his favorite color? What does he like to do in his free time? I don't know. Just normal questions about the guy, and let's see who knows more.
First question.
Right out of the gate, it was like, oh my Lord.
The game show host, and this is in the 70s, looks and goes, contestant number 1, have you ever had sex with your secretary? And my jaw just dropped.
Yeah, it was before you were married. It said before you were married, did you make whoopee?
Did you make whoopee with your secretary?
This secretary,
Right.
this specific secretary that is on this show
Back there
with you and
in a
your
room
wife.
with your wife right now, that secretary.
Like the first question, and I was like, oh, no, he didn't.
So he asked the first guy, and the guy says, no, never, no, not at all. Then they asked the second guy, and the guy says, oh, no, not at all. They get to the third guy, and he goes, yeah.
And he didn't bat an eye. He was just like, yup.
Oh, God.
And I was like,
now I'm hooked. Now I'm like, I'm going to be watching this show for the next 10 minutes easy because I want to know what happens when the wife hears this. So they go through, poof, then they bring out the secretaries. I don't care about the first two. They make little jokes. The second one was kind of funny.
She was like, oh God.
Oh God, no.
She was like, oh.
Like he was the grossest, like a just nasty monster.
She was like, you could tell the thought had never crossed her mind. She was like, oh.
So then they get to the secretary.
Contestant number 3.
I thought she was going to lie. I was like, oh.
But she was like, no, she was like,
she goes, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, oh my God, it's getting worse. So now I'm like, it's going to be another 10 minutes because I'm hanging to see the wife. So then they go through the spill again.
Hold on. There was another question too. All the questions were uncomfortable like that. But there was another question that was something along the lines of, what is something in your office that your wife has
decorated something your wife decorated.
Something your wife has brought to the office that you and your secretary hate.
Oh, Jesus.
That was it. That's, one of the questions.
It was like when they were coming up with these questions, somebody said, now what question could we ask that would ruin a marriage?
Yeah, it's like that's what they were going for. Yeah. Like, let's see how many couples get divorced after being on this show. But that contestant number 3, the secretary, whenever they asked her the question to see if she could match his answer. And he had said like a photo on the wall or something. And she said his wedding ring. And I was like, oh my God.
It was, yeah.
It was very obvious.
Insane.
This guy had dated his secretary before his current wife.
Well, you didn't let me, you ruined it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Spoiler alert from the 70s. Back to the original question. He gets to the wife. And now I'm on the edge of my seat, metaphorically, because we were cuddled up on the couch watching a phone. He looks at the wife and he goes, before you and your husband were married, did he ever make whoopee with his secretary? And she goes, well, I would hope so. They dated for years. I'm grabbing my chest. I'm like, she knows. She knows. And here's the next thing. How do you react?
Well, it's probably a good thing that she knew.
How do you react if I come home and I go, hey, you remember my old girlfriend? She's my secretary now.
Oh, hell no. That ain't happening.
Right?
I don't think so.
But you guys definitely go watch an episode. That's all over YouTube. You can find it.
Well, no, wait.
What?
Then they got to the question about the wedding ring. And the host, he repeated the question, what is something your wife put in your office that you and your secretary hate? Well, whatever. And the host didn't tell the answers. He made the secretary say the answer. So she has to say her answer in front of the husband and his wife. So she had to tell
the wife.
The wife that her answer was the wedding ring.
Yeah. I hate that you brought the wedding rings into the mix.
Why? What?
Why what? What are you talking about?
That I brought it up?
No, that's what the secretary said. The secretary looked at the wife and was like, I hate that you brought the wedding rings into our workspace.
Oh, yeah. And the wife, she was super cool about it.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, well, I don't think that at all. I think it's a great improvement or something like that. And she was like laughing.
Yeah.
Because she was like, he's coming home with me. What?
There's no way she enjoys her life. She has to be just nervous all the time.
The wife?
Yeah. Right. Ugh,
I don't know. She seemed fairly confident. She wasn't worried about it.
Patreon.com/The Bob and Katie Show. If you've enjoyed our rants about children, and we please stop shaking that duck. Guys, we need you to help support the show. Go to www.patreon.com/The Bob and Katie Show, and you can become a member of the top secret Bob and Katie Show Society. Woo! Now, we have rewards. It's very simple. You donate $1, you get a whole bunch more episodes. That's what it is. Or $5, or 10, 15, a million, whatever you can do. But, we want to keep things going, and that's a big, big help. I can't do this. You got to stop shaking the duck. I'm trying to improve our lives right now and beg, like put our shame down. You know that's what we're doing, right? Why don't you give it a shot?
Mm-mm.
You're just the talent.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you are.
The pretty face.
They can't even see you. It's a podcast.
So?
Okay. Good deal. Patreon.com/The Bob and Katie Show. If you guys can't do that, which I get it, you know, sometimes we can't. If you have Apple products, going to iTunes and rating the show helps us out more than you can think. What happens is every time that we get a good rating, iTunes goes, oh, people like this episode. And iTunes wants people to listen to podcasts because, I mean, that's how it works. So if people are giving good reviews, iTunes has the ability to go, you should listen to this one.
Mm-hmm.
So like we need those reviews. So go to iTunes and give us the good reviews. We would appreciate it. And if you want to give us a bad review, then
keep that mess to yourself.
Yeah, just turn it off. Just don't listen anymore. Like that's how that would make the world such a better place.
What could anybody possibly have to say about us that's negative, though?
We keep begging for money. Every show we beg for money.
Like, they're funny, but they talk about money all the time.
Well, if you guys would just give us some money, we'd stop begging about it. We'd stop begging for the money if you just give it to us. That's how the game works. No, in life, if you don't have, like, if you're upset about something, just don't do it anymore. You don't gotta complain. I went to a restaurant one time and they were horrible. They treated me so bad, and I'm going to go home and I'm going to write a blog about it, and we're going to do all that. Just don't go back to the restaurant. Now, in my circumstance, you know, I complain about stuff, but I do it from a comedic point of view. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you don't like it, don't do it. You don't like your job? Get a new job. You don't like how you were treated at restaurant? Don't go back. It's very simple. You don't like how the married couple talks about buttholes all the time? Don't download the episode. Go do something else. But if you do like it, go to patreon.com/The Bob and Katie Show. And there you can find your laugh.
And find your happy.